Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Bitcoin Made Simple podcast. I'm going to talk about why Bitcoin just doesn't seem to be popular. Does anybody care about it anymore? I don't know. It could be that I'm just in a really grumpy mood because I've been sick for a little bit now, and I apologize. That's part of the reason why I haven't had episodes going up. And you can probably hear it in my voice, and you'll probably notice in my lack of energy. But I'm like, does anybody give a crap about Bitcoin? So I'll talk about that and more. But to get a Bitbox O2 hardware wallet, go to bitbox.swiss/Bitcoin Made Simple. Use promo code Bitcoin Made Simple to get 5% off your order. It's the easiest, most simple to use hardware wallet in the world. Where did I put it? I don't know where I put it. I usually have it right here so I can put it, but nope, I don't have it. Anyways, you'll have to take my word for it, or if you haven't seen the other videos, go back and look. It's so simple. A caveman like me can do it. And also shout out to Barefoot Mining. Go to barefootmining.com. They are looking for like-minded investors and energy providers to help bring the Bitcoin network to a wider audience and help secure it. So go to barefootmining.com. And anyways, yeah, it's been one of those weeks, plebs, where you know, the flu has run through our house. And it's apparently one of those that just sticks with you for a little bit. So here we are, and I'm still just like, blah, got like no energy whatsoever. And I was like, I didn't get one out last week. I got to get one out. And all I could think about whenever I was thinking about what to talk about was like, does anybody even care about Bitcoin? Like, I see you guys download the podcast and listen, so I'm aware that you guys care. But does anyone else care? I'm starting to get the feeling that there aren't as many people that care as we thought. Um, you know, the price of Bitcoin, I can't figure this out for the life of me. How did the price of Bitcoin shoot up to $107,000 and it didn't become this like huge mainstay in the cultural zeitgeist and like take the world by storm? And I don't know. Like, I wonder if now, granted, I was not as ingrained in 2017, so I can't say that I witnessed like the Bitcoin community conversation day to day on where the price was going to go. But here's a theory that I have. The theory I have is that in 2021, everyone was like, this thing's going to shoot through the moon. It's going to go to 300, 400K. Um, and, it was pushing to all-time high of whatever it was, 19,000, trying to get into 20,000 and then see what would happen. And um and it took off. It went flying, and it became the thing, and it was like everybody was talking about it. Like, I mean, I don't know if it was partially because of like COVID lockdowns and everybody was bored, so they didn't have enough stuff to talk about. I don't know. But it was just like something everybody was like, "What about this Bitcoin thing? What about this Bitcoin thing?" And all of a sudden, you don't hear people saying, "What about this Bitcoin thing? What about this Bitcoin thing?" And part of me wonders if that's because when they see it hit $107,000 per Bitcoin, which, if you're a Bitcoiner, you understand that's nowhere near where it's going to stop, but you also understand what it took to get to that point and how much of an uphill battle it was to get there and how hard it was to fight through everything. So then it gets to $107,000 and you have pleb, your average, not even pleb, just plebs are Bitcoiners. So your average person just sees a headline and they're like, oh, Bitcoin reached $107,000. They might think it's going up or down. They don't know. Because they probably, last time they really paid attention, heard people talking about it in 2021 and were like, well, it's going to 300K by conference day. So they're like, oh, 107,000. Maybe that's their thought. Maybe they're like, "That's nothing." Like, of course, I guess it must have crashed. I'm not saying that that's what people are thinking, and I apologize if I sneeze and or sniffle or whatever or do gross things during this, but like I said, struggling to get through this, struggling to get through the week, struggling to get through every day right now. Um, but I can't for the life of me figure out why. And so, like, that's the only real thing is I think is through that makes sense to me. It's like, oh, yeah, we flushed, we overloaded the normies with news, overloaded them. So a six-figure Bitcoin doesn't even mean crap to them. Where is it going to mean crap again in the future? Well, let me get to that after I tell you to get a Bitbox02 hardware wallet. Um, so my prediction is that the normies won't truly care again until $1 million a Bitcoin, which is crazy because we're more or less 10x away from that. And if you watched, but it's crazy. A 10x one time went from 2,000 to 20,000. So if you think a 10x is impossible, it is. You know, 10x went from 6 to 60, 10 to 100. It's absolutely possible. It will absolutely happen at some point. I just don't know when. This is not financial advice, so please don't take it as such. But I don't think the normies are gonna pay attention. And by the way, I'm not using normies as like a derogatory term to like, be rude or whatever. I'm just saying everyone outside of Bitcoin world. Because even like most of my friends and everybody I know interact with on a regular basis, nobody talks about Bitcoin. And I've reached the point in my Bitcoin journey um where like, I mean, you guys know my story. I've been talking off and on about Bitcoin for at least it's 2025. So I mean, for 15 years. In 2010 was whenever it was first introduced to me. And, I didn't buy at the time. I really wish I would have, or just took my damn laptop and had it mine Bitcoin. God almighty, so stupid. Um, but, hardcore following it, better part of a decade. And I'm just like exhausted. Like, I don't want to explain it to people. Makes me think of the Keanu Reeves quote. I see it all online all the time. I don't know if it's really his quote, but I like the point behind it. Sorry, I'm sick, remember. The point behind it, he says something like, I'm at the point in my life where I don't want to argue with people. I don't want to argue with people. So, if you say 1 + 1 = 5, you're right. Congratulations. Good luck. Um, and that's how I feel about Bitcoin. People are like, Bitcoin's not going to fail, or Bitcoin's going to fail. It's not going to work. Blah, blah. I'm like, you know what? Yep, you're right. Good luck to you. I don't care. I don't care. You know, um, you have to wonder, like, in biblical times when Noah was standing there telling everyone, hey, like, you might want to get on this boat just in case the world floods. Or, you know, whenever the first lifeboat was getting loaded on the Titanic, nobody really thought it was going to sink. And there could have been somebody there that just knew with absolute certainty that the Titanic was gonna sink and could have been urging everyone, and people would have been like, "Yeah, whatever, like, we'll be fine. We're just gonna sip our brandy here and take our time, and, if it gets serious, let us know." And so us Bitcoiners have just been doing that over and over and over and over again, and maybe that hurts the public perception of it, maybe that hurts its ability to explode, like I said, because we were just over and over and over and over again about it. And now people are, maybe oversaturated with it and have tuned it out. I don't know. But for me personally, like, like I can't even, like Bitcoin will come up in like social settings and people literally have no idea what the price is. Like when it was at 100K, they're like, how much is a Bitcoin now? Like 20, 30,000? And I was like, no, it's $100,000. And like expecting them to be like, whoa, oh my God, I gotta buy some. Instead, they were just like, oh, okay. Meanwhile, back in 2020, 2021, when Bitcoin was jumping up from like 3 to 4 to 5, 6, 7, 8, pushing 10, and it was going to make a run at all time highs. I had lots of people asking me, how do I get Bitcoin? Do you think this Bitcoin thing is going to be the thing? Should I get in on this Bitcoin thing? Blah, blah, blah. Everybody was asking. And this time is just different. Like it comes up and people are like, huh, whatever. So maybe maybe the allure of get rich quick is not in there to draw people in. I don't know. Um, but nobody's getting rich quick off of Bitcoin right now. Um, it's a grind. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I don't want sure with the people that want to get rich quick and the euphoria of the market coming from, you know, when the euphoria hits, you know, I'm not a proponent of selling your Bitcoin, but that's probably a good time to sell if you were a trader. Um, and the euphoria can make the prize just absolute price just shoot through the moon, but it'll come crashing down. You know, the business partner of mine and I, we talk about, we're like, Bitcoin is like mostly pain. Like it's not up and to the right. It's mostly pain. And I'm okay with that because when the day comes, hopefully in my lifetime, if not my lifetime, maybe in my kids or grandkids' lifetimes, um, the day will come where Bitcoin will win and I'll be right. I have an old saying in Bitcoin. I used to say, Bitcoiners, hardcore Bitcoiners, are just a group of people who like to be right about something. Because my wife always says, you love when you're right about something. And I do. And early on, she was like, you're right about this, aren't you? And I was like, I am. Believe me, in the decade or whatever, the better part of a decade that's been hardcore focus, I have not, not thought of that shot through a hole through it, tried to shoot holes through it, looked through it every way. Still right about it. Just don't know about the timeline. It's the other thing I say about Bitcoiners. We are right about everything. We're just wrong about the timeline. So who knows when it'll happen, but it's going to happen. So, it might be wise in the meantime to get some in case this thing catches on. And whenever you get that, put it on a BitBox O2 hardware wallet, and I will talk to you later.